First story. OP's fiancé decides to be a stay-at-home partner after learning about his salary. My fiancé has proposed something that I have never heard of. We had a big argument, and she felt I was acting like an ah. I wanted to get an opinion on whether what she is asking is a thing, or if it is something I should be worried about. I 30M recently got engaged to my fiancé Emma 26F last month. Emma is amazing, and we met at work. I am a researcher at a big tech firm, while Emma works in marketing. We met 2.5 years ago, during a company event, and I was completely smitten by her. I asked her out, and she said yes, and we have had an amazing relationship so far. One of the things I love about Emma is how organized she is. Her job involves working on marketing events and event planning. She is great at it, and I am proud of her. However, her work also involves working longer hours, especially if she is helping organize events or meetups. Since my job is a desk job, I generally have very predictable hours and do not generally have to work late. She always complains about how I get to sit in a nice office, while she is driving around everywhere and getting things done. I know this might come off poorly, but I am neurodivergent and struggle with simple things. And that is one of the reasons I love her, as I struggle with anything that requires organization. She is patient, and she makes my life better in many ways. We moved in together in the summer. She moved into my apartment. That was the first time we discussed finances openly. Due to some really lucky factors and stock value appreciation, I have a pretty good compensation package. She knew I was financially stable, but was shocked when she learned what I made. I was actually equally shocked at what she makes. It turns out I was making around 15 times more than her. I offered her to not pay anything and concentrate on saving to pay back her student debt, which was paused at that time. I own our apartment. However, she said that she also wanted to contribute, and we decided to split the expenses proportional to what we make, which I thought was fair. She has always been very independent and self-sufficient. Now to the issue. So, we got engaged around a month ago during the holidays. She had never asked me for anything expensive before. However, she wanted a specific diamond engagement ring that cost us close to $15,000. I was not comfortable spending that, but she convinced me that she was going to wear it for the rest of her life, and hence it's worth it. We got it, and she was very happy. Whenever she shows the ring to anyone, she often attempts to mention the cost of the ring in the conversation. I feel extremely uncomfortable showing off, and I have told her many times to stop. However, she continues doing it. Yesterday, I came home, and she asked me to sit on the couch next to her. She said she wanted to talk about something important. She said that she is planning to quit her job next month and give her 15-day notice. I was shocked and asked her if anything was wrong. She said that she wants to plan the wedding, and it is going to take a lot of time. We plan to get married in the summer. Hence, she wants to make sure she takes care of all the bookings soon. I asked her why she needed to quit her job for that, and she said that she was tired of working long hours and wanted to be a stay-at-home fiancé. I laughed and told her that was not a thing. Plus, she still has tens of thousands of dollars in student loans. She argued that it was less than what I make in a month, and we are a team now. So, she is not worried about it. I asked her what her plans were after the wedding, and she said that she had not planned what to do after that, but was glad I was with her. I told her that she could take a break, but I am not comfortable with her just abandoning her career at such a young age, especially since we are not planning to have kids for at least a few years. She is good at what she does, and I want her to be independent even after marriage in case something bad happens to me. We had a big argument, and she feels I am an ah to want her to work after marriage when we can afford for her to stay at home. On one hand, what she makes is not going to affect our finances. However, it just rubbed me the wrong way. I have never heard of anyone leaving their job to plan the wedding. Is stay-at-home fiancé really a thing? I want to support her and make her life comfortable, but I feel quitting her career is a little too early for her age. Relevant comments. Ophelia 18991. Nobody is the a-hole here. You just need to go to counseling and iron out how finances and work are going to look in your marriage. I.e., do you want to fully support her? If so, great, or not. These are make or break things in a marriage. It's better to work them out now. OP. Thanks. She has a college degree, and I really want her to not be dependent on me. This can be addressed through counseling or more communication. Subscreen. AITAH. The fact that she went from an independent, capable adult to wanting to be your dependent after she found out how much you make is a huge concern. If she was willing to throw away her own career for this perceived easy life, that doesn't bode well for whether she'll stick with you if you ever lose the ability to pull off such a high salary. OP. What concerned me was that she waited until we got engaged and then told me about this. I just wanted opinions on whether anyone else has observed this and how they dealt with the situation. Deleted commenter. Have her sign a prenuptial agreement. What's she planning on doing with her days after the wedding and before you have kids? OP. We already have a prenup signed before engagement. Update. Last week, I30M posted an update regarding my fiancé 26F, whom I recently engaged to ask me if she can leave her job and be a stay-at-home fiancé. For context, the issue was that I earn a lot more than her, around 15x, because of some lucky circumstances, even though we work for the same company. She did not know that until last summer when we moved in, as I have a very modest apartment that I own and don't spend a lot of money on myself, unless on a few of my hobbies. After we got engaged, she asked me if she could leave her job to plan for a wedding full-time and be a SOF. I posted this here because I thought the term stay-at-home fiancé was funny and thought it would make a few of you chuckle. After thousands of you calling her a gold digger, I thought it was time for a serious talk and to understand why she wanted to quit her job. I was able to gather my thoughts and have a conversation with her. On Friday night, we ordered in and had a nice dinner. I again brought up the subject of why she wanted to quit her job. I tried to be supportive and not act like an when asking the questions. Initially, she went all defensive about why she wanted to stay home and started talking about how it would not matter since she barely made enough to contribute to our relationship. I tried to explain to her that it was not just about the money. I told her how hardworking and talented she is in her field, and she has worked very hard to finally get a position where she is helping with event management for such a large organization. I also talked about the fact that although I make good money, I have just been working for a few years, and we do not have enough savings so that if something happens to me, she will be taken care of. I told her about my fears that having a large salary means I have the biggest target on my back when it comes to layoffs. Overall, I think I was able to get my point across on why I feel she should not give up on her career at the age of 26. She agreed with most of the things I said. She told me that she was very overwhelmed with all the things that needed to be done before our wedding. She commented on how I am really bad at organizing tasks, and she will have to handle many of the things on her own. Our parents insist that we get married this year, and it's a very short time frame to plan everything. She said that she feels burned out at work and barely has any energy left at the end of the week after running around everywhere and sometimes traveling to different cities. Her exact complaint was that her boss treated her like a workmom, and it was degrading to do all the work for barely any money. Hence, she wants to avoid the work stress and plan for the wedding in a happy place. She promised that she would start looking for work once we were done with our wedding and honeymoon trip. However, she does not want to work in the role she is currently in and wants a job with more predictable hours. She also talked about going back to school and getting her master's. She insisted that she did not want to be a trophy wife, and I jokingly pointed out that the best thing she should qualify for would be a consolation trophy. She laughed, but I don't think she was happy with that. I think that was fair, and she plans to resign late this week. Hopefully, she will be able to enjoy the days off and re-energize before the wedding. As for all the gold digger comments, I understand where you are coming from. I grew up poor, and I make an effort to never show off what I have to a fault, because not everyone in my family has what I have. She fell for that version of me. If I trust her enough to get married to her, then I also have to trust my perception of her. For me, she is the smartest, hardest working, independent person who frankly does not care about stuff. Granted, she got a nice engagement ring and was excited to show it around. However, most of my colleagues' spouses also have nicer rings. Overall, sorry for such a stupid, non-entertaining update. I am glad we were able to talk about it and move on. Top comments. CCL. Now you lost any credibility when you said that your parents are insisting on you getting married this year. I can't take you seriously as a successful adult if mommy and daddy are still telling you what to do. Specific Progress 38. Hire a wedding planner who quits their job to plan a wedding. OP, she doesn't want to work anymore and is setting you up for a world of hurt. Get a prenup and make sure you use birth control. Second story. OP's boyfriend went physical to feed her non-vegetarian food. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 3 years and have lived together for 1 year. I've been a vegetarian since I was 11 years old, through my own choice. No one else in my family is a vegetarian. My boyfriend eats meat. Although my dream ideal partner probably would be a vegetarian, I view this as a Dan Savage price of admission for an otherwise great guy. Usually we cook veggie meals, and he adds meat to them. If he wants a meal where that doesn't work, we just cook our own things and eat them together. The cooking works out to about 50-50, and so does the cleaning, so I don't think the problem is with that. He eats meat most days, and I have no problem with meat in the flat. I won't cook it, that's all, because it grosses me out. Meat pizzas and stuff like that, I don't mind, but nothing that involves really touching the meat. Recently, he's been really obsessed with my vegetarianism in a way he never had before. He's always made stupid jokes, but that's a better reaction than a lot of people. He's properly grilled me about it around 4 times in the past fortnight. Anyone who's been veggie knows how annoying those constant conversations are. He started genuinely saying that it's stupid, unhealthy, hipster, and all that stuff. I've shown him the studies saying vegetarians usually live longer, and that a veggie and even vegan diet is accepted unanimously by dietitians as just as healthy as a meat one. He just doesn't accept it. He has a far worse diet than I do. I don't snack, I don't eat fast food, and I don't have sugary drinks, which he does all the time. We're both slim, however. He's been asking if I'd ever quit a lot too. I'd like to point out that I never bring my vegetarianism up in conversation because usually people just try to lecture you. Whenever we talk about it, he brings it up. Now, there's been a handful of times in the past few weeks when he'll cook a meal for us, and I'll notice that it's not vegetarian. Some examples. He made spag bol say it was corn when it just obviously wasn't. They don't look the same. When I pointed this out, he just laughed and said it was a brain fart, and he forgot which. Okay, whatever, I guess that could happen. He gave me a sandwich with ham on it, another mistake, apparently, since he was making us both them, and just put the ham on both. Despite this never having been a problem before, he made himself a bacon buddy and asked if I wanted an egg one. I say yes, and when I walk into the kitchen, he's using the same pan that he'd used for bacon. He said he didn't know this was a problem when he 100% did, because he always swapped pans before this. And it's not about washing up, because when he cooks, I wash up, and the other way around. He made chicken enchiladas and told me they were vegetarian. Luckily, I saw the chicken when I cut it in half. Same excuses. An honest mistake. Thus far, I haven't accidentally eaten any meat. I've been cooking for myself for the past week, but he keeps offering to cook for both of us. Am I just being paranoid? The idea of him sneaking meat into my food seems crazy, but it really seems like he is. Why would he even bother to do that? My boyfriend has become aggressive towards my vegetarianism, and I think he's trying to sneak meat into my food. Relevant comments. Deleted. I think you're using the word sneak incorrectly. This douche knows full well what he's doing, and you should probably have some serious second thoughts about him and his actions. Mistake my arse. OP. I'm glad people are agreeing with me. I didn't think it could be in any way a mistake either, but he insists that it is. Won't change his story at all. Deleted. Have you talked to him about the fact that he's being incredibly disrespectful towards you and your moral choices? OP. I question him after every incident, and I've asked him separately as well. I was like, you've been making a lot of these mistakes. Want to talk about my vegetarianism? Are you confused about it? Resentful. He insisted and insisted that every single mistake was a mistake, and then huffed off to bed. Top comment. Cat romance. It does sound like he's setting you up for a, did you like what I made you for dinner? Ha, it had meat in it, sucker situation. These are not honest mistakes. You two have lived and eaten together for quite some time now, and to suddenly be making mistakes like this is ridiculous. He's definitely trying to get you to eat meat. I think you need to have a serious talk with him. Tell him that you know he's trying to sneak you meat. There are way too many coincidences for these to be accidents anymore. Tell him that if you ever suspect or discover that he has fed you meat, you will break up with him on the spot. At least tell him that if that's how you feel. For me, it would be a total breach of trust. Ask him what his deal is with your being a vegetarian. Is a friend giving him SHT? Did he read something that made him worried? Is he concerned about what you two will feed future children? There's something that got the fire going under his feet, and you need to figure out what it is. Update. So after posting, I stuck to only eating food I'd made, and my boyfriend got more and more antsy about cooking for me. I sat him down the next day and asked him the same stuff. If he had a problem with my vegetarianism, why was he trying to contaminate my food? Since I asked why and not if, he blew up. I demanded to know why I didn't trust him and how I could accuse him of this. He also kept trying to get me to explain why I'm vegetarian in the first place, but he knows this well, so I didn't let him derail the conversation. Eventually, after the most frustrating, circular argument ever, he stormed off to our bedroom. We didn't speak that night or in the morning. When I got home the next day, he'd actually gone and cooked an entire chicken for us. He asked me if I'd eat it. It was so surreal. Him standing at the kitchen counter with this cooked chicken, asking me to eat it when he's never known me to eat meat, as if we hadn't been arguing about this at all. I didn't even respond. I shouldered my way past him to the fridge, which was a massive mistake. I guess he went a little nuts. I still can't really believe this happened, but he grabbed me by my hair at the back of my head and, with another hand, tried to force chicken into my mouth. I am still shocked by this. It was terrifying. He was so much stronger than me. He didn't succeed, and after some moments of me struggling, he let go. He just stood there, looking defeated, while I literally ran out of the kitchen, got some stuff, and went to my parents' house. I'm there now. It's been the best part of a week. He's agreed to move out. Put up no fight for the flat or for us, which I wouldn't accept, of course, anyway. When we spoke on the phone to decide this, he sounded ashamed. Quiet. I hope he's ashamed. I'll never know why he suddenly snapped about my vegetarianism, and I frankly don't care anymore. He's obviously just a wanker to do that anyway. This past month or so has been so different to the test of our relationship. It's crazy, but there's no coming back from this. I'm well shot at him. TLDR. BF tried to force feed me. We're done. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.